to glow.
Are we back? Are we back?
We're back.
What we glowing about? What we glowing about? Let me turn this right here off. Let me get that light out your camera face.
Specially requested this one.
Yes. I thought we needed to glow a little bit.
So this topic was all about you and your workforce experience and how you've dealt with, and we've left several very good stories out of the podcast because of statutes of limitations and legal stuff.
Yes, a little bit of legal wrangle in there.
So there's a lot of stories that we left on the table, unfortunately.
Correct.
But what did you want to glow about?
Well, I just wanted to thank you, number one, for this show. It really was energizing. I didn't see it going the way it's going. You are amazing.
Okay, that was...
No, I say that because you pull this together.
Yeah.
And then you show me, we have bullets that set up of what the topics are.
Yeah.
But then you have questions within those that you don't necessarily talk to me about.
That's true.
That to energize the conversation.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I was not ready for the intertwining of those other little things that you bring in.
But you know what? It doesn't. I don't plan that part. That part is, I think, part of how I process information, and part of it is being a girl. And
you could be Oprah. You could be Oprah Part 2, Oprah 2.0.
We got that bitch quality, and we do. We have it's like a bitch gene. At least Leos have a bitch gene.
That's not Leos, what I call it.
Virgos. Who else got bitch gene? I don't know. I know two of us.
Aries. Stop it. I already know what you thought about when I said Aries.
And it almost begins to look like a picture coming together. Uh-huh. You know, like talking about your upbringing made so many things about what you've had to go through make so much sense.
But you know what? I thought about a story, and I'll tell it in the Afterglow. To kind of give you a context. If you're going to watch the Afterglow, you understand what we're talking about. We're talking about being an African-American man working in an engineering, white male-dominated society. Right. So I'll give you this story that I didn't put in the thing. So Afterglow. So I was working at a location, and we had armored vehicles at this location. Okay. And I had to go out to this location to take some measurements. Now, I had in my arms probably a $200,000 piece of equipment.
Oh my God, it's a bug!
It's a plane. Are we killing it live on air?
I can't let no bug.
Are we killing it?
You keep talking.
The bug must die. So I had in my hand a $200,000 piece of equipment, something thereabouts. She was over there killing the bug.
I missed it. Damn it. Oh, you little bastard.
She missed the bug.
God damn it.
She's cussing. Well, if you went in the closet, baby, I'll get him.
Damn it.
You didn't hurt your hand, did you?
I might have broke a nail.
So like I was saying, I had this piece of equipment, and I was going to make measurements, and in the vehicle to make sure it mounted up to where we were going to mount it. We're designing a prototype part to make sure it mounted onto this prototype part and also mounted into the vehicle. Okay. So as I was leaving the vehicle, I had the part in my hand. I was taking it back to the office, and this white guy when I text was standing nearby, and he screams across the place. He says, "Y'all need to watch the black guy with the part. You never know where it's going to end up."
God damn.
And the whole complex went quiet. Because at this time, I'm the lead. I'm the lead designer. I run every bit of design that's going on at this particular place at this time. I was running it. And so I went back to my office. I pencil whipped the fool out of it. And I submitted it to corporate, and corporate handled it. They handled it. I never saw them again. I don't know what happened to them. I never saw them again in our facility.
The absolute fuckery.
Yeah.
The caucasity from high atop Caucasus Mountain.
Yes.
That is some called Bishop.
So this is kind of things that we're talking about when we talk about surviving office place drama.
That's not drama. That's a direct attack on everything you represent as a black man, as a human, as an employee of everything. It was a direct attack on your character. That was at work.
Yes, was at work. Yes.
I hope he fucking got fired.
I have no idea what happened to him. I never saw him again. But being that was such a large company, they could have just moved him to another location.
Of course. But if a black man would have fucked around and said the wrong thing to a manager and everybody heard it, he wouldn't have been moved to it.
No, and see, the other thing about that too is there's the only way that I could have kept my job was to handle it was the pencil whip and handle what I did. Because we got in a fight, I'd have lost my job. He might have lost his job too, but I would have definitely lost my job. There's no other way to handle it, you know. Because if I'd have said something back to him, if I'd have said some blip, blop, blip, blop, blip.
I think you could have said a lot of blip, blop, blip, blop, blop.
Now I can.
And
now I can.
Kept your goddamn job.
Now I can. Post George Floyd, I can. But pre George Floyd, I'm not so sure. But you could be right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, yes, that's kind of what this show is about surviving those type of situations, navigating being the only black guy in the engineering.
I think one thing you didn't talk about is your evolution, coming from the more submissive, let it go, to more of who you are right now. That part we didn't touch on.
And that is true because
you're not that person anymore.
No, but even telling that story was evolution, because the first time something like that happened to me, I didn't say anything.
Right.
And now in the story that I just told, I'm reporting it exactly like it happened, with all of the ugliness exposed.
Right.
And then I'm putting the burden of the pressure on the company to how they handle
their shit,
and leveraging that against them, you know, because if you don't say something, now I understand what retaliation is.
Oh, absolutely.
And when someone retaliates against you, what it means for you in the marketplace, and how you need that verbiage there, that paper trail, to show if someone's retaliating against you in the workplace.
But there's certain things, case in point, I won't reveal anything specific about the job you had when you were in San Antonio before you moved here. How you were just not with the bullshit.
No.
At all.
But that's post George Floyd too. That's post George Floyd. And there's just that little.
And I think that even in the midst of you having to be firmer, I don't think you lost who you are.
I hope not.
I think that you're becoming a better form, because if you truly want to mentor people, you cannot take this generation into a massa don't say nothing, keep your head down mentality.
Correct.
That bullshit don't work with millennials and Gen Zers.
And doesn't have to because they have so many avenues and so much better educated on those type of things. Could you imagine if we could have Googled EEOC back in the day?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
but it's statistically speaking, well, I think the percentages still are well over 60-70% of people who are who have sexual harassment or racist issues that happen never report it. They just quit, and they never actually get to change something. Because it takes courage to stand. It really does.
Not only does it take courage, but it takes perseverance. Because you have to sit there through the process.
Right.
Because the problems that we've had, you know, like when we couldn't talk about certain things because of litigation that we had and agreements that we signed and lawsuits and all that things. It's because you had to sit in that and watch and wait for that stuff to come to fruition. Because go through the whole investigation.
Because if you jump ship too fast, then you lose your opportunity to leave an impression on not just that company, but on your family.
On your family,
on your children,
you
on
miss
your
legal
legacy.
Records, you miss legal compensation.
Financial, exactly.
You miss all those things if you can't sit in.
Yeah.
And that's
not comfortable.
It is very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is very uncomfortable.
Yeah. So in that, I'm tremendously proud of you. I mean, it lots of things. But it takes a lot.
It does.
It takes a lot. I am thankful for the God in you for being able to do that, and then being rewarded by the God above because every time you move jobs, you moved up.
Correct.
So you never changed jobs for less money.
That's true.
That was never in your cards.
That's true.
So even in spite of everything you went through, you will never missing no coins.
No, there's no missing.
The best revenge, according to Queen B, is your paper.
Get your paper.
Is to get your paper.
What?
But with your so leverage that and go into what you want to accomplish, not necessarily in your business, but in your mentor program.
Well, I will back up a little bit.
Okay.
Because Black Handside Design, our business, is our, what would you call it? I
think it's our method to pay for the mentorship.
Our method to pay for the mentorship. The mentorship, Black Hand Up.
Yeah.
Where we use all of our tools.
Yeah.
You being a filmmaker.
Yeah.
To mentor and educate and inspire African American youth to become engineers, to go into STEM.
Yeah.
As I was telling the story of how I was on Buckrow Beach and I watched a fitness instructor give 8-year-olds classes, training on how to be football players.
Yeah.
And I'm standing there thinking to myself, well, what would happen if these 8-year-olds had an engineer mentor?
Yeah.
Or if they were trained in algebra?
Yeah.
Those type of things. Because like we trip on the Chinese or the people from India, but they set in their mind, I'm going to raise an engineer. Just like we set in our mind, I'm going to raise a football player.
Right.
The problem is they have better odds of raising an engineer than we have of raising a football player.
We have more Asian from India and from as doctors and lawyers and engineers than
Yes, because the odds of you making it to the NFL are very, very slim, like only 20%.
All you gotta do is finish 4 years of college and become an engineer.
All you gotta do, exactly.
You're gonna be an engineer when you finish.
Exactly. But the education that it takes to be that, you need to get and turn toward that while you're 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
You need to be turned toward engineering, have interest in it, so you can take the math and the science
You
necessary.
know what I remember too, when you were talking, you said that when Tyrone was in the 8th grade, he took the mechanical drafting course that got you interested in mechanical design and engineering.
Correct. I was 4 years younger than him.
You know, when I was in 9th and 10th grade, I took as my elective because I didn't want to do PE because I was already a cheerleader and I was like, fuck PE. I did mechanical drafting for 2 years.
Really?
4 semesters.
Really?
Of mechanical drafting.
Were you good at it?
I was really good at it.
Really? So I'm going to have to buy you a drafting board because I'm looking for people to hire.
That's why you have a mentorship program. I'll record you guys doing it all. I get it all edited and make sure you guys are famous for it.
Okay.
But I hadn't thought about that in years until you said it when we were doing the podcast.
Yeah. And it turned me toward the sciences and the math necessary that I needed.
Because if you don't turn them quickly, it gets intimidating the older you get.
Because you have to begin to have an interest in it at an earlier age, elementary age. And it's like, you talk about church. And this is my issue with church. Is that when I was sitting in church and we would have check cashing classes and things of that nature.
You did?
No, I'm talking about recently. I was sitting in church and they were announcing they was having, in a part of the youth development program, they were doing check cashing classes, sewing class. They're doing little things like that.
Yeah.
And
practical.
And it's good to have that, but they were pointing that towards the juniors and seniors in high school. And I was like, that's the bad focus.
Yep.
That's a bad focus. That needs to be taught
3rd, 4th, 5th grade.
3rd, 4th, 5th grade.
So that way, by the time you get middle school,
you have familiarity with it.
Exactly.
And
you
so,
already have a checking account open. You already know how to manage that.
Exactly. Because we're introducing adult things to kids when they get in the initial introduction, when it's too late. They already have a checking account by that age.
Exactly.
They're already spending and blowing money by that age. No, you need to teach them those kind of techniques in middle school and elementary school so that when they come in contact with it, it's familiar with
foreign.
them. Exactly. You know, they said that someone that has a young person that has a firearm accident typically is a young person that's a novice with a weapon.
They don't know how to use it.
Exactly. Whereas a child that actually grew up around a weapon knows proper handling techniques of a weapon.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have those accidents. He doesn't see it as a curiosity.
Exactly.
You know.
But they don't have.
And it's crazy because me as a child, I grew up around weaponry, and I never had a desire to go and play with one.
Right. Because you understood the power.
I saw it blow a deer head off. I didn't need to know what it did.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah.
So our afterglow is going to wash out there.
I don't think we should end it with blowing a deer's head off. I think we need to
That's why it's called a crazy train.
It is a crazy train, and I'm hoping you're aboard, and I hope that you watch it. Thank you so much for this.
You're welcome. It's all about you, baby.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what God pays you.
And I did not say at any point in this that she was doing her stand-up no bra.
Yes.
You know. Don't touch. Stop.
They're so perky.
Because you know, now the wrong person say something, I'm gonna have to go find them.
We out.
Peace.